Today, we will discuss the Bronze Age collapse. I want to paint you a picture of the world in about 1200 BCE. So, in this world, the center of this world is Mycenaean Greece. Across from the Mycenaean Greece, across the Aegean Sea, okay, this is the Aegean, is what we call Anatolia. Today, we refer to Anatolia as Turkey. And in Anatolia, the Hittite Empire rules Anatolia. Further south is a place called Canaan. Canaan is important when we do the Bible because that is the birthplace of the Israelites. Okay, so Canaan today is what we refer to as Lebanon, Syria, and Israel today. Canaan is a province of the Egyptian Empire. Okay, so this is Egypt. Over here is a place called Mesopotamia, and we today call Mesopotamia Iraq. Over here is today what we call Iran. Back then, it was basically Persia. Over here is Afghanistan. And then next to Afghanistan is India. And of course, remember, these are the steppes. So from Mycenaean Greece, you also had the Mediterranean. And over here are the islands of Cyprus and Crete. And then over here is a place called Iberia. And over here is Britain. So this is a map of the world in 1200 BC. And what's really important for you to recognize about this world is it's interconnected, meaning that they are trading and communicating with each other. Okay, this is what we call the Bronze Age. The Bronze Age. And why is it called the Bronze Age? Because they're trading basically bronze during this period. Back then, bronze is like oil today. Okay, it is the basis for the economy, the very structure of their economy. Bronze is an alloy made of copper and tin. Copper and tin, you have to mine, okay? And only a few places will have these resources. So tin is found in Britain, in Iberia, in Anatolia, in Afghanistan, okay? Copper is mainly found in Cyprus and Crete, and also in Anatolia. Okay? Now, what this means is, in order to make bronze, you basically have to trade with the entire world. Okay? So, India, this world, the trading would go as far as from India to Britain. Even China over here was part of this world, but not to the degree as these other places. Okay? In this world, there are different ways that you can profit or make money. Okay? The first way is mining. So basically extracting resources, tin and copper, in order to make bronze. Second way is industry, manufacturing, right? So making bronze from tin and copper, and then turning bronze into weapons, into pottery, to be sold elsewhere. Okay? The third way you can make money is by what? Trading, right? So in this world, if you look at this map, who basically profits the most from trading? If you look at this map, who would make the most money from trading? This area, right? Does that make sense? Because it is the center of the world. You have to pass through this world in order to access everywhere else. Okay? And this place over here, if you look at the map, it becomes the center of the world. Because this place becomes the logistics hub of the world, right? To get to anywhere, you have to pass through this place. And so this place can basically collect tolls, right? This place is called what? Do you guys know? Excuse me? Yeah, it's the toll gate of the world, right? You have to pass through this place in order to access other places. Therefore, this place is very wealthy. This place, can you guess what this place is called? Can you guys guess? Troy. Have you guys heard of the Trojan War? Okay, we will do the Iliad next semester. We will discuss the Iliad next class. But I want you to understand this place is called Troy. And because this place is so important, for centuries, they've been fighting wars over this place. Because it's really the center of the universe, right? If you can control this place, you become very wealthy because everyone has to pass through you. You can collect tolls. You can trade, okay? Does that make sense? And the last way you can make money off this world is what? What's the last way in which you can make a lot of money in this world? You can do it through mining, industry, trading. What else can you do to make money? Piracy, right? Does that make sense? Steal. Right? Piracy. Right? So when we read the Iliad, what you will discover is the Greeks who attacked Troy, they were basically pirates. Troy made a lot of money off trading, and pirates went to steal a lot of their resources and wealth. Okay? Does that make sense? So the main point is that this world was interconnected. It was a globalized world. We call this globalization. But at the same time, it was very chaotic. It was very dynamic, okay? They traded with each other, but they also fought wars against each other. Okay? Does that make sense? And these places in the center of the universe, Mycenaean Greece, okay, became very wealthy because they traded and they engaged in piracy. The Hittites became very wealthy. Egypt became very wealthy, okay, because they were the center of the universe. But a couple of decades later, this entire world collapsed. This world disappeared, meaning that Mycenaean Greece was destroyed. It was completely burned down, and they lost about a quarter of their population. Okay? The Hittite Empire, destroyed. And even though Canaan disappeared, and even though Egypt was not destroyed, it ceased to be a hegemon. It ceased to be a global power. And a few decades later, they were conquered by outside powers. Okay? After 1200 BCE, Egypt ceased to be a power. So this is what we call the Bronze Age collapse. And for the decades, scholars have been trying to figure out what happened. Why is it that in 1200 BCE, this world was wealthy, it was interconnected, and then a few decades later, it all disappeared, it collapsed. And that's a great mystery that no one has been able to solve, okay? So let me tell you what we know. We know that what caused this collapse are what we call the sea peoples. Sea peoples. And we know because Egypt has written records of battling the sea peoples. So basically, over the course of a few decades, people were coming in from the west and attacking Egypt, okay? This was not one people. This was a series of different peoples attacking Egypt from the sea. And Egypt had to spend decades in order to repulse the sea peoples. What we know is the sea peoples, whoever they were, they didn't destroy Egypt, but they did destroy the Hittites and they did destroy the Mycenaean Greece. Okay? So, and what we know is the sea peoples, they were basically a combination of pirates and also refugees. These people attacked Egypt because Egypt was the breadbasket of the world. That's where all the food was. So they were attacking Egypt for the food. Okay? These are people who are hungry. They joined with pirates at ships, and they were trying to take over Egypt together. They destroyed Mycenaean Greece, they destroyed the Hittites, but they failed to destroy Greece. They were stopped. They were stopped in Egypt. Okay? So another question then is, what's driving this population movement from west to east? Okay, that's a great mystery. And over the past few decades, different solutions, different ideas have been proposed. Okay? Before, we thought that it must have been an invasion. So the idea is that what's happening is you had people from the north of Europe invade Mycenaean Greece, which drove them westward. Okay? That's the first idea that we had, but we have not found any evidence we have not found any evidence this is the case. Okay? So even though this was one of the first theories, there's actually no evidence to support this. Second theory that we had is basically a natural disaster. So the idea is maybe there was a volcanic explosion somewhere, okay? And this caused the weather to change. And now farmers could no longer feed themselves, so then they started to move westwards and attack Egypt, okay? That's the second theory. And there's more evidence for this, but the theory that we have today is a perfect storm, okay? Or a systems collapse. And the idea here is that it was not one thing in 1 year that caused the system to collapse. It was a series of events over decades. Okay? And these three major events are natural disasters, or so basically earthquakes. So we have archaeological evidence that there was a series of earthquakes in this region at this time, which destabilized the region, okay? So earthquakes happen. We also have evidence of climate change, okay? So the weather became cooler over the course of this period, which meant that it was harder to grow crops, okay? And we also have evidence of eternal revolt, okay? Meaning that people rebelled against the elite, overthrew kings, and there was a lot of war and violence, okay? So the theory that we have today is what caused the Bronze Age collapse was a perfect storm, basically a multiple factors which led to systems collapse. Okay, does that make sense, guys? Any questions so far? Any questions so far? Are we clear? All right. So one thing that you have made notice in this class is that I have a very different understanding of history than other people, okay? So I happen to disagree with this theory of the perfect storm, even though it is the scholarly consensus. All right, so I want to explain to you today my theory of what happened. All right, so the first thing you need to understand is this system collapsed, even though it was traumatic for Europe. It is not unique in human history. This sort of stuff has happened before, okay? So if we go over here to North America, to the Mayas, okay, so the Maya civilization existed in Central America, okay, or Guatemala basically. And so we find a similar pattern where in about 200 AD, okay, in the year 200, their civilization started to explode, okay? It started to increase. It reached its peak at about 900 AD. Okay? In the year 900, its civilization was over the place in Central America. But then after 900, it went all the way down, okay? So about 30 years' time, by 1200, their entire civilization almost collapsed. So it's a very similar pattern to what's happening in the Bronze Age. So the question then is, why does this happen?